Join today. My name's Jerry Eisenhower. I'm with CVC Coaching, and this is all about virtual training and how you're going to use it and in taking education for your team into an entirely new level. Virtual training is something that is used in a vast number of industries now across the world. It's used in all types of professional means. And basically, technology is changing the way that we train. And here's the thing, it works. Now, it's got to be a properly administered program. It can't be approached in a haphazard method, and we're going to show you how to get through, how to do this today, and the ways that we see how this can take your company to an entirely new level in the way you train both your new employees and also to develop a continuing education for your existing workforce. You see, today, virtual access provides information your team members need to have. It's online, it's on demand, and it's available 24/7. Your major training resource now is what's called in the cloud. The cloud is where the information is stored, and with technology today, you have a phenomenal means of accessing this and assigning it and setting up systems to track and measure how your people are doing, and even developing quizzes and different types of testing and reporting systems that you can do with online methods and the platforms that are available to you today. Okay, what's the advantages? If you study e-learning, which it's also called, what are the advantages over on site? Number one, it's a 24/7 access and it's on demand. It's available when you need it. Number two, you can set up personalized study materials for your workforce. Number three, it has an enhanced collaboration and it reaches across the world. Another factor is it's greener and it's more cost effective for companies to train using virtual means. And this is a big one, which is number five. It's now been found that virtual training is one of the most suitable methods of training millennials, which is probably the largest generation in the workforce today, and more than likely a large percentage of the people that you're going to be training. It's an easy method to update. You have the ability to track and measure progress. It's consistent. And a big thing is you can tailor it to the student. In other words, you can set up a learning path for each student individually that suits the learning style of that person. And what's even better, you can choose the device that works best, because with virtual means, you can access training. You can do it with computer. You can do it through the internet, on a tablet, on a smartphone, on a laptop. It has apps. It's accessible anywhere that you are or you need to be. And see, this is one of the things. When I was a kid, we went to libraries to study. But the problem is a library is only open during certain hours. Virtual library, it's open 24/7. It's on demand. And today, according to statistics, 97.5% of Americans use the internet on a daily basis. In other words, they're using it to shop, they're using it to buy their goods. E-commerce has changed the world, and now the virtual classroom has the ability to help you change your world into something better. For a system to work, you've got to have a platform to work from, and you need the following features no matter what system you use. You've got to have an administrative side, which we call the team leader. The team leader, what they can do, they can assign courses. They can set up teams within the company of different departments. We're going to show you templates today of how to set up your team. You can assign other team leaders. You can have leaders underneath the team leader as leaders of specific teams. You can assign courses. You can assign deadlines. You can create courses. We're going to show you how to do that today. You can track their progress. You can measure their achievement. The list goes on. And we're going to show you how to create your own testing today. We're going to show you how to upload your own proprietary information to your platform, because a good platform is going to allow you to add your own material to it. What does the student, or what we call learner, have? They are assigned the courses. They take the assigned courses. You never want to open up the entire library to your students. You want to assign the courses you want them to take. They can take the assigned quizzes. They have deadlines assigned to them. They can accumulate their CEUs to maintain their certification, but they can only access the courses that are assigned to them. And again, we're going to show you how to do that in here. You see, what's happening here is the team leader can download or access from the cloud and put into their team's platform the training that's in the cloud, and then they can assign it to their people. But what they can also do is they can upload their own proprietary information, the information from their suppliers, the information from educational foundations. They can basically add their own corner inside of the cloud of a good platform. Team leaders' information is proprietary. It's only available to the team leader and the people they disperse it to. What the team leader does, the team leader assigns all courses and information to the learners. Again, as we go through this, if there's any questions, simply send me a text at 704-425-0217. I got my phone sitting right beside me, and I will repeat the question. That's the best way we found to communicate on webinars like this. What you do is you use online training as a content for your own live training, and you can take advantage of live stream training. In our company, we present classes in a live streaming mode. It means you can attend classes live while they're going on. But what you can also do is use the content that is on a platform, and then you can make it your own content to teach your students. And what that gives you is, as the team leader, as the instructor, the ability to interact with your students. See, that's one of the things about recorded seminars. It's like I'm doing a presentation for you right now, but I can't judge by your faces your acceptance. And this is where you, as the team leader and the on-site instructor, can really move to a higher level. You can decide today you're going to do a 30-minute training on sales. And you can take one of the sales courses that's online, play 5 to 10 minutes, and stop it when they get to a teaching point. And then you can interact with your people with that teaching point to reinforce how you're going to use these new systems inside of your training system. Okay, so what you've got here is you've got a virtual classroom that can be transmitted from any location in the world. You can access information from anywhere in the world on demand. That means you don't have to wait till a course is scheduled somewhere near you. You don't have to get on a plane and go to a course. You don't have to drive distance. You don't have hotel bills. You don't have transportation time, and you don't have travel downtime. That's where virtual really comes into play. It makes training time much more easier to work into your schedule. What you've got to do to build an effective training program, however, is you as the individual company, as the user, have to build a strategy for what we call success. And what training does this require? So the question to you, if you're watching this and you have a company that's providing services to consumers and you're sending technicians to homes, what are the basic skills? What are the things that you need this person to learn before they run a truck or they lead a crew and go to the house? So what I've drawn on my slide here is a big arrow, and each of those colored boxes that you're seeing represents a different course that your person would go through. And I'm going to show you layouts for courses today in the chimney service and in the hearth industry for how you can put together to bring a skilled person up to speed for you in a short stage of time. You've got to decide, and this is part of your criteria of developing your training program, is what skills will the graduate of your program need to possess at the level that you have now turned them into a technician to go to a home and become a profit-making individual. Or what courses do you need to train a CSR? Or what courses do you need to train a warehouse manager or to train a retail salesperson on your floor? Well, see, this is part of what you've got to do to construct your strategy. There's one attendee on here that I'm going to have him step in a minute. He's going to tell you a little bit about what he's been doing in his company to develop this. But it goes beyond that. To stay at the top of the game, this is what's key. It is called continuing education. So even though they've now reached that point, they have that diploma, they become a certified technician. That should be viewed as the beginning, as the minimum standard. Now what you've got to do is build a course, build a system of continuing education that carries this person on through into the future. In other words, you're assigning them courses that goes on throughout the system. Now, at this point, I'm going to see if one of my attendees is available. Bart, are you available? I am unmuting you now. Are you available? Can I explain what you're doing in your system, sir?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Go ahead, Bart.
All right, sounds great, Jerry. Well, I tell you what we've done is we are utilizing the platform basically to roll out both internal training that we're developing as well as the content that Jerry and his team has put together. And I tell you, one of the hardest things that you really have to just get your head around before you even start the process is the fact that you have to deal with an incredible amount or a credible amount of volume of information that is rapidly becoming available. We are at a time in the chimney service industry that literally is a game changer, or what some people would call a paradigm shift in training. Your company owner or whoever's going to be your team leader, maybe that's a specifically designated person on your staff, whoever that is, they have to understand that that person has to be fully prepared to roll online training out or virtual training out. And frankly, I think I really dedicated pretty much 2 full days, just a Saturday and a Sunday, to kind of getting my game plan together, looking through all the materials that I actually had access to, basically putting them down on paper on lists. And then I started looking at, okay, if I was a brand new person to this industry, what would I need to know? And as a owner of a company, I looked at that list and thought, okay, if I have a brand new person coming in off the street, what's the quickest way that I can get that person from point A to point B meaning generating revenue for the company. Those 2 days, basically, I just locked myself in my office with no distractions whatsoever, and I just dealt with the volume of information that's out there. Jerry's system is probably the easiest system on the Litmos platform that I've seen as far as dealing with how it's put together, as well as how you can most easily assign your people to different teams. And it takes a little while to kind of get your head around how to do that. But once you do that, and as you're doing it, you'll want to make some notes, some kind of cheat sheets for yourself. But once you've got your head around how the system works, and you start getting your team members plugged in, after you've basically set your curriculum, because you've got to realize you're the coach, I think you're going to do very well, and you're going to notice a real difference in the training in your company. So think of yourself as the coach, and you've got to get your game plan together before you go to your team and tell them, okay, guys and gals, this is how we're going to win the game.
Yeah, and one of the things, Bart, that you've done is you have computed out and have done a schedule within your company of what they will learn and courses they will take on a daily basis. What Bart did when he showed this to me, and this is Bart Ogden from Wichita, Kansas that was talking, what Bart did was put together a spreadsheet of what they needed from the first moment they walked in the door. Now, like I said, he bottled himself up in an office, but here's the real world of where we're at today. The person that's coming into you today does not have the basic skills that many did 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. It's a changing world. So what Bart has done is put together a process, and that's what you've got to do, of building a person into a profit generating, revenue producing individual in the shortest amount of time. And that's one of the largest challenges we have right now. We're recording this on May 1st. On May 1st, it is 4 months until September 1. And if you are in the chimney, venting, or hearth industry, you know what's going to happen on September 1. And we see this every year of people trying to bring people on within a matter of days, and we get busy. And with this system, right now is the time that I firmly believe that if the course is followed of what we're going to share with you, you're going to be able to bring competent, trained, skilled people to put on your staff within a period of 90 to 120 days. Bart, would you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that, Jerry. You know, I've been in this industry since 1979, and literally, I mean, you and I both know that that was literally the dark ages in American chimney sweeping. We were all stumbling around, didn't really know what we could do, what we couldn't do, and what took us years and years to work through the minefields of and pull the information together. Today's technician, I firmly believe in a 2-year period, I think we can have a technician literally at almost our levels after 39, 37, 38 plus years, you know, in the business. Um, I've heard stories, you know, of, well, you know, I just need that guy or gal to ride with me on the truck for, you know, a year and a half. And in today's market, you cannot do that. We don't have these people for a long enough segment of their lives sometimes because they're moving on to other stuff. So we have to find out how to make that person a revenue generating person in our company. My plan that I put together is very aggressive. I'll be the first to admit that. But you know what? At the same time, when you bring somebody on, especially that really the ones I prefer don't have any experience in this industry because I don't have to fix a bunch of stuff at that point. But if you bring a person on, let's compare this to them going to a new school, starting college, just starting anything new. I think you'll find that really the first 60 to 90 days, their brain is in the most spongy state to absorb the most amount of stuff. So that's the way that I've designed my 90 to 120 day plan here is, yes, it does treat it like a boot camp, but in the end, I think that's going to be the best way to deal with it, to let your people know that this is serious. This isn't just a haphazard thing. You know, there's nothing to do with Mary Poppins in this thing. We're serious about this trade, and this is something that is important. And I think what happens a lot of times with company owners is the fact that we do just, well, just ride with Bill, and he'll teach you everything he knows. Well, you know what? Bill's been there a while, and Bill may have developed some bad habits. So this system not only takes a person who can't even spell chimbley to a certified technician quickly, but it also acts as a system to where you can bring your existing techs back in, spot check them with some knowledge, get them some reviews, find out if you're doing ride-alongs, what courses maybe that seasoned tech might need to reacquaint themselves with. And it just gives you a way to orderly train someone. You know, when you go to college, you don't just go and, you know, hope it works out all right. That instructor has a specific curriculum that has been developed to get you from point A to point B and to at least get a base order of knowledge. And that's the way these systems are working now.
That's it. And, you know, I've been teaching classes almost 40 years. And the virtual learning method, as I've gotten into this more and more, and I'll give you just a little more background as I go into this, but the virtual method is increasing the ability to give it to people in what I'm going to call small bite-sized pieces versus me coming there and teaching for a day. Well, if I go to a company, If they can absorb at the end of an 8-hour day, if they walk away with 20%, I'm happy. But with this system of delivering it in small bites and then being able to test them and measure them and track them afterwards, it's an entirely new ball game going forward. Okay, so that's why we're going to go forward now and show you a little bit more about how this system works out there. What is virtual learning? It's a virtual learning environment, and this is kind of what you'll see. It's also called a learning management system. Technology and the internet has changed the way we teach and learn. If you go to a school today, in the elementary school, you're commonly going to find a bank of computers where our teachers are using computers. Now, where did my experience with virtual come up? It came up in 2011 when I went to Gitomer certification and licensed instructor training, because in that, in 2011, I saw virtual learning, and I was told by Gitomer at that time that this was going to be the future. And Gitomer was on the forefront of this in the coaching and public speaking arenas. He has interactive training modules and that are phenomenal. They're used by Fortune 500 companies. In fact, the Litmus program that we use is used by 4 million learners across the world. It's used by people like IBM. It's used by YouTube. So the system we've invested into is a proven system. And the big thing is, like Bart shared, it's easy to use. And we're going to show you how that's done today. So think for a minute. What does it cost you today to train a technician, a raw technician? In my surveys that I did amongst clients in the last year, we have come up that probably your cost to train someone to obtain a minimum standard, and this is taken into account lost time, mistakes, everything else, is probably between $15,000 and $25,000 to just run a truck. If we send them for remote training, that's great, but we got to look at what's the cost of travel, what's the cost of registration. We're paying their salary while they're going. We have lodging, we have meals, we have downtime. We recently just had a convention in Portland, Oregon. What would it cost to take someone to that training? And the next thing was, how much of the training was geared to that person? With this system, you're gearing the exact training to them. What's the cost of lack of training? It's called callbacks. It's called warranty issues. It's called improper quoting. It's called bad handoffs. It's fumbles, lengthy job times, and it all is considered waste. And it all comes up and rolls into the waste factor. Virtual training, it's available when you need it. You no longer have to wait for a class to be scheduled somewhere near you. Formal training can now start the day that a person comes to work. Day one is the most important day in the career of a new hire. I am finishing up a book I've been working on for the last year, and it's about training technicians and taking them from raw recruits up to skilled technicians. I am firmly convinced that the most important day in the life of anyone you hire will be the first day. And historically, we have trained people by taking a warm body, putting them on a truck, and then they develop the bad habits of the people they're working with. Here we have accredited classes that are taught by subject matter experts, okay? So this is the reason why we have designed what we call the CVC Base Camp. It's a virtual learning platform. It is designed specifically for chimney, venting, hearth, fireplace, and outdoor living. That's not the only system available. But I think that we provide the best. We have designed this system for existing companies to bring into their training. Our programs are accredited. I'm going to take you inside of the program in just a minute and show you how it operates. So what I want you to do is plan to join me right now. I'm going to switch screens over, and I'm going to take you inside of a virtual learning platform so you can see how the system operates. Right now, what you're looking at is what we call a learner platform. And you are inside of a test team that I have set up specifically for demonstrations. So when you sign into our system, you have immediate access as a team leader of all of these classes. And this means that you can assign them as you see fit to your people. Okay, I got to move my little cursor out here that's in my way. GoToMeeting does that. So what you're looking at here to come on to this, the blue pictures that you see are videos. Those are non-CEU approved. That doesn't mean they're unimportant. If you open up the first one, that is a collection of videos by different sales experts, gurus around the world, such as Gitomer, Ziegler. The list goes on. The next one is ladder safety. We are building inside of these. So if you click on these, I'm going to click on sales and motivation videos. And what you're seeing is a catalog of courses that are made for existing ongoing training. And you can see how to be your best every day. Are you being deleted? 6 sales lessons from Gitomer. These videos in this particular collection run probably between 3 to 8 minutes. Perfect for a little inspiration today. The next one is ladder safety. And what we put here, we put various training videos that are put out by Warner Ladders and different associations that deal with ladder safety and how to use different tools on the roofs. We are building that particular category stronger and stronger. Then we have ride along concepts, ideas and concepts. This is for you to use within your company, different methods and how to do ride-along training and hands-on training. The next is roped roof access by Bob Ferrari. If you recently attended Bob's class in Portland, Oregon, and your employees were not there, this is the classroom portion that was done there. It's in 2 1.5-hour presentations. So can you bring that information back? No. What we have here is a collection of Bob's roped roof access. Now, if you want Bob to come out, who is one of our instructors, he can still come to you and teach the hands-on portion, but this saves a day of training with your people in the classroom. It shows them how to tie their knots and all that stuff. And the list goes on of the courses that we have. When you go down through it, you'll see that we have a phenomenal amount of courses. This is our diagnostic and analysis approach to chimney failure course. This is a 16-hour class I have taught over the years, and it's all about masonry chimney failure from different causes. Water entry, thermal shock, the list goes on. We have courses all down through here. And if you're on the platform now, you know what's there. We even have one, the history of chimney sweeping in America. Why are my parts not here again? That's a lean training. Here we have Chimney 101. This is a 4-hour introduction to chimney sweeping for new hires. This is the very first course I suggest anyone take when they come into here. We have, go down to our base training here. We have basic training for chimney sweeps, and sometimes it's hard for me to find them when I get on here. Let me keep going down. CVC Basic Chimney Sweep Technician Training Course. This is a pre-study course for taking any industry certification that's out there. This course will prepare you. What you have, it's a 16-hour class, and then you have a review after each part. And I'm going to tell you what the review looks like. When I'm going to show you a review, and the reviews are set up as a learning review. They're set up as a learning quiz. And what that means is this is to increase their knowledge. So the question that's asked here, NFPA 211 is a blank. Now the answer to that question is it's a standard. Now we had the choice in setting up our quizzing. Did we want to do it as a pass-fail, or did we want people to learn? So we developed this like you would the flashcards that you might have used in college, you may have heard about. So if I pick out code, which is the wrong answer, and I hit next question, it will tell me, no, that was an incorrect answer. Please select again. And I go to standard. Now, part of the reporting features are that as the team leader, you'll be able to view the results of these quizzes to see how many misses that people had. Now, another use of that quiz would be if someone came to you and decided that they were applying for a job and experience. Well, it's real simple. I've got some quizzes for you to take. So we need you to sit down, take the quizzes, and go from there. You're able to access the results of these quizzes on your team administrator side. So this is the team leader. There is almost 300 hours of courses on here. There is almost 80 hours of CEU accredited training. There's more than enough CEUs right now to completely recertify to keep your certification maintained. And we've only rolled this program out the 1st of March. So this platform has only been in existence for 60 days. Okay. Now, I'm going to take you and show you the team administrator side. We're looking at the learner side of the system right now, and to switch to a team administrator, what I'm going to do, you can see where I am circling. Let me get my drawing tool out here. I am circling, and you can see the V right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that V, and you're going to see this screen change. It came up, and I'm going to switch to what's called administrative view. Once I go to administrative view, now this is what you as the team leader, the person that's administrating this. And on this side, I can create users. I can create my own courses, and I'll explain that in a minute, how we do that. I can chart user activity, module activity, what's going on in them. I can see what my people have been doing. When you're an administrator, you can see right here, I'm going to click on people. Keep in mind, this is a fictitious platform I'm showing you right now. So we will say, you see, I set up Jerry Eisenhower at jerry@ddd.com. I can click on Jerry Eisenhower, and I will be able to see what he has been assigned. I'll be able to see what team he is on, and here I can actually track and see how much time he spent on the course. In this, I can also assign him courses. So I'm going to show you, if I wanted to assign Jerry Eisenhower more courses, because I don't want to give him the whole library, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right here where it says courses, where you see my cursor circling, and I'm going to click on courses. Now, all I have to do to assign a course to him is to click assign courses, and there is the available courses. And if I want to assign him to one, all I would do would be click right there, and now I have assigned him to a course. I can assign this to various teams and sub-teams within my company also. So there's all types of systems that you can use in here. Now, what you can also do is you can develop your own courses. Now, a course could be a place to store your SOPs. It could be a place to store materials from certain suppliers, depending on who you buy from. We will say you buy from Copperfield Chimney Supply. You could create a box in here that's then accessible to your people with all the training from Copperfield. You can create another area for other suppliers. Esteban for everything involved with your chim scans. You can have National Chimney. You can have Olympia Chimney. You can have New England Chimney. If you sell Travis stoves, you can have a Travis training box, and I'll show you that in the template shortly. You create more users right here by clicking on this. Once you click on it, you fill out your name, their name, and give them a username and a password, and then add the person. That's how that works. So these are various ways that this system would work. So Bart, I'm going to turn your mic back on a minute. Is there anything you would add, if you're still out there, about how you use this?
Okay.
Bart, you on?
Separate estimate for the exterior work.
Okay.
Hey, Bart.
Yeah.
Are you back? How do you? Could you tell them? I'm on the team leader page. Is there any special things you would tell them that you're using on the team leader page? I've showed them how to assign people, how to set up courses, and all that. Is there anything you would add?
it just takes a while to kind of get your head around what's able to be used, and how to interact with it. Let me get this pulled over here. Not really anything in particular, other than you just have to learn what the view is like as the admin, and well as the view as the learner. Because like in my system, I have myself listed as a learner as well, just like you do in your example. So you just have to figure out how everything pulls together. And I think you've got that in this presentation.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm going to show you a little bit later, and I'm going to take you back before we go back to the presentation. I'm going to show you this. One of the courses that are on the platform, I'm going to switch back to the learner view. Now, as a team leader, as we have developed this, people have asked questions about how to do certain things. So what we have built is what we call the CVC Team Leader Tips to Navigate the Platform. So if you click on this, what you'll find inside of here is various short 5 to 10 minute videos that tells you how to file for CEUs, how to set up mobile classrooms, how to lay out your team for course assignments, suggested curriculum for new hires. Also, this webinar is being recorded. It will be posted onto the platform once we complete this. So this will probably be uploaded to the platform later today. And I'm doing another webinar tonight. So we'll hang that up so you'll have 2 webinars that you can access to repeat all this. And I'll also hang the PowerPoint program as additional information, because I can hang PowerPoint programs in there like that. Okay, so there's all kinds of ways. And like I said, what you've got to do is get into the program a little bit and use it. And you can't break it. I will tell you that. If you could, I would have probably broke it. So I'm going to take you back to where we came out of the PowerPoint program a while ago, and I want to point out some more features. And keep in mind, the features that I'm pointing out to you, if you don't use our platform, you can use them on other platforms. Okay, the purpose of today was to show you the value of the virtual platform, what you can do with the virtual platform, and then I've showed you ours. We'll be more than happy. We're granting, if you're on our program now, great. If you're not, we give you a little free test drive time to check it out. All you got to do is let us know, and we give you a 2 weeks of access just to try it out. So as we call it, test drive it before you subscribe, and there's never a contract with our system. See, again, I want you to look at what I've laid out here. What I've laid out is a template for setting up your virtual platform with a 5-employee company. Now, this can be as many employees as you have. So you, as the team leader, are uploading information to the cloud if you wish, but you're also accessing our information from the cloud, and you decide the content that you want your people to see. That's going to come from your assigning it, and you also have the capability of tracking and reporting, running reports on your people. So this is for a smaller company. Now I'm going to take you up to a little larger company. And here you see that we have divided it into departments. And this is what Bart's done with his platform. Here I've done a sample company that would have a retail showroom. They would have retail employees. They would have management employees. They would have office CSRs. They have technicians. They have sales, and they have new hires. So each one of those departments needs different training. So what you do is you decide what training is going to be assigned to that particular department, or you can assign it directly to the people. That's your choice when you set it up. So you could set up your template however you want to go. Build as many teams and as many seats as you need. And if you have a person that he can sit in more than one of these boxes, again, it's all in how you decide to set up your system, because it's very customizable to your company size. You know, what you're doing is You're downloading and uploading a wealth of info to access, and you have the ability to upload. Now, when I say downloading, you're actually not downloading, you're accessing the cloud. So it's not downloaded to your computer per se, it is accessed from the cloud. Now, it's available to be used on an app, on a computer, on a smartphone. However, the app, you can only operate as a learner through the app. If you want to operate as a team leader using your mobile phone, you need to go to your internet connection and use your browser and go to our website, which is cvccoaching.litmos.com. Now, this is setting it up to a higher level. You can see here that what I've done is I have my various divisions of my company. I have my retail, I have my management staff, I have my office, my technicians, my sales, my new hires, and you may divide the new hires into new hires for field, new hires for retail, depending on how your company is laid out. Now, if you also look, you'll see the green boxes that are at the top. Those are the courses that you set up. They're called courses, but they're actually file folders. So what you can do is transmit any electronic data that you wish. It can be PowerPoints, it can be Word documents, it can be PDFs, it can be videos, whatever you want to upload, you can upload into each one of those individual supplier boxes, such as, to give you an example, we'll say that you are a heat shield dealer, and you can upload all of the heat shield training in a digital format that goes directly to the heat shield box. Now, what it is, this is your decision of what you want to put into there. So you have any supplier, any distributor, any manufacturer, and the number of these boxes that you set up, that's completely at your call of what you want to do. You can add, you can delete at any time, you can adjust, you can modify. So what kind of information can we upload? Imagine this, your guy is in the field. He needs his information on heat shield. He has it. He's in the field lining a chimney. He's in the field and needs his IRC. You can upload a PDF of the IRC where they have that for a search. You can have any type of product videos, MSD sheets, videos, PowerPoints, the list goes on. Any type of digital information can be uploaded directly to your platform, and it is proprietary and contains where only you can access it unless you need our Litmos people to go in because something ain't working right in your system, okay? And this is what I advise people to do, and this is kind of what Bart was talking about a while ago. What you want to do is you're developing super sweep. You're developing super gas man. You're developing super people within your company. But if you ever sat down and written out and done a mind map or an outline of all you want that person to know, well, that's the 2 days that Bart said he blocked himself down in his room and he came up with this mind map of what he thought would really work for him, and it has. So this is showing you a mind map, and mind mapping is something we actually have a course on here on how to do mind mapping because it's a great way to set your plans out. So when you get it all done, you set up your courses, your subject in a way that works for you. You design your template to work for you. You upload the digital files that your workforce needs. There is no additional charge per month beyond the subscription to do all this. It's all in there. Now, what is some of our presenters? We have the most impressive group of presenters available to you. Right now, when you go into our platform, you got people like Jeffrey Gittimer, Scott McCain, Larry Wingett, Tim Davis, who's a branding coach. We have programs of all type. If you're wanting to build up your gas, we have 20 hours of gas training. Bob Wise has his complete NFI 16-hour pre-study for the NFI gas certification. We're going to be adding pellet. We're going to be adding wood. We're going to be adding hearth design specialties to this. So The next thing is, let's construct your training strategy. Now, I'm going to show you what I feel is the way to follow right now, keeping in mind that the strategy will be something that you will modify as you go through. But let's assemble for you, for an example, of how you want to build this super technician that comes to work for you. Okay? This is our training strategy for a chimney service technician. So in other words, the day that you hire a new person and his role is to become a chimney service technician. We have listed here 12 courses. We start him out, we suggest you start with Chimneys 101. That is a 5-hour class. We suggest you then go to our Chimney Technician Basic Training. That is a 16-hour class, and if they're already certified by chance, it gives 12 CEUs. At this point, if they can go through that technician training and answer those quizzes, let me assure you, they're ready to take any industry chimney sweep certification test. From this point, we suggest you now start with safety, ladder safety. We suggest then you go to masonry chimney diagnostics. That's another 12 hours of teaching time, 12 CEUs. If they've got their certification already, they're now earning CEUs to master their recertification. Then go through factory built fireplace diagnostics and analysis. It's the only diagnostics class that's ever been produced. I've been presenting it for several years now. Then pressure analysis and resolution, where they can familiarize themselves with pressure issues in the home. Photo processes for field and office. Then we go into roof access training. Then we've got a class of why we line chimneys, because most people really don't know why. And then if you're in an area that has gas logs, we suggest gas basics. And then we come up with problem solving tactics and strategies, history of the chimney sweep in America. And then we into our sales classes. That's over 50 hours of classroom training. Now, how long would it take your people to attend, and what would it cost you to send them to 50 hours of training? What would it cost you to bring me in for 50 hours of training? Much more than this course cost you, okay? You got a CSR comes to work. Again, we feel that CSRs, the more they know about the product and the service, the better they are. So we suggest they start out with Chimney 101, and they learn a little bit about photography and diagnostics. Then they go into sales. They've got to learn how to qualify the sales. What are the right words? They're going to have problems. And sales and motivation videos. This is our suggested training strategy for a CSR. You've got a training, you want to learn gas hearth. We've got a 4-hour class on gas basics, and we have our 16-hour gas preparation class. Now you can take your NFI gas, on your NFI gas certification, you can now take it through Proctor for You. So at the end of this, they're ready to take it. Management level courses. I got a note here. Let me read this. Okay. Now, you've also got to remember, they have to read along with this. It's more than just looking at videos. You've got to involve yourself into this. But like I said, this is why you should not launch all your programs out to your people at one time. You assign the courses that you need, and you track and you measure. This is of utmost importance. This is not something of go to your room and study videos. But what you've got to determine is setting a course to build technicians in 90 to 120 days and building them to a higher level to bring you more return, more profit, less waste, less downtime is that your due. So that's why we call our program the Chimney Service Encyclopedia. What we feel is we have provided for you a system, and it's available, like we've said. They can access this on their phone. They can access this on a tablet. They can access this on a laptop. on a desktop. It's strictly up to you. But again, it's like Bart sent me a note. You've got to make them read. You've got to interact with them. You're also going to have to do hands-on. You're going to have to test them. You're going to have to measure it. I think one of the most important things somebody shared with me a while back was they figured out that to grow their business, what they were going to have to do is they were going to have to become a trainer. Well, see, the hardest thing about training is developing the content. Well, we develop the content to the highest level of the industry. Okay. Right now, we are a member benefit of the National Chimney Sweep Guild. Right now, we are just working a relationship with NFI. We're going to be a provider there. We're working a relationship right now with HPBA. It's going to be a member discount, hopefully within the next few days on the HPBA platform also. So we have built a platform that is truly phenomenal, and it can truly take you to the next level. It truly can, but what you've got to do is understand you got to do your part to make it work. Like I said, you can use your phone. You got it with the app. The app is free. It is called Litmos. Once you have the app, what you do is a person enters their username and their password into the Litmos app, and when they do that, it will turn into the CVC platform, and then they can access all their information in the palm of their hand at any time. It's like I got my phone in front of me, so if I wanted to access it, there's my phone right now, and I'm gonna hold it up in front of the screen for you. Okay, so what you're looking at right now, if you can see this is the Litmos app, and all I got to do is access that app, and as you can see, it is now into the CVC learning platform. And what this means is your guys can access this training. They got 15 minutes of downtime. They're waiting on the customer. They can be listening to classes. They can be earning CEUs through the week. Now, one of the things is you've got to allot the time for training. That's where a lot of people think. They got to understand, you got to set a system up, and you're going to have to set a system up where your people buy into the process. Okay, so your info's available. It comes up and looks just like you're looking at on the screen right now, and then they can scroll through just like I'm doing. They can select the class they want to go to, just like what I'm doing right now. They can then click on the quiz, the test, the class that they want to take, and it will then come up. You got to turn the sound on from here. So there is your system. It is the next level of training. So if you're on the system now, we appreciate you being on it. If you're not on the system now, like I said, CVC will allot you a 2-week free trial. You go into it, we'll make you a team leader, go in, negotiate the system, get you some CEUs while you're at it. Once you get into it, you'll find that it's very easy to navigate through, and it's something that's going to truly take you and your crew onto the next level. Okay, if you open it up, and Bart, if you're available, I'm going to ask you to expand on what you just said here. Let me get this up where Bart is here. Attendees. Okay, Bart, if you're available, would you expand on what you just messaged me about how important it is to dole this out in doses and not just dump the library?
Yeah, just like you were showing on your phone, Jerry. I mean, it's natural human behavior for us to click on something that we don't know what it is. Kind of like one time when I went to Silver Dollar City many years ago, and it said there's a little sign on the side of a shack that said, "Don't look in this hole." Well, of course you're going to look at it. So if you have your system set up to where you roll this out one at a time so that the person completes that. Once they've completed that, then they can move on. It's more like a college curriculum where you have your prerequisites. So you as the team leader are structuring the knowledge going into that guy or gal, and you're creating that person the way you want to. Think of it like you're molding that person into the technician that you want them to be. The 15-minute between appointments or 30 minutes, if they're down or something, that's a great idea. But again, you don't want to have that whole thing out there as far as they can have access to that. Now, one thing that's really cool about the system is the fact that you can go back and retake courses. So if somebody has a question or they want to just brush up on something, maybe they've kind of had a brain fade or something, and they just need to reacquaint themselves with some information, then they can go on their Litmos app and they can go to courses that they have completed. But the new courses, or the course that they haven't taken, or the courses that are currently in progress, that works very well on a mobile device. We happen to use iPads here, so we don't have any issue with looking at a very tiny screen, like you do on some of these phones. But as long as you have like an iPhone 6 or above, or Jerry, I think you might be running an Android there, as long as you have those larger screens on a phone, it'll work also on a mini iPad as well. But we just happen to use iPads here at HomeSafe, and that's what works out really well, is we can just click on that and we're ready to rock with that at any time.
Right. And see, I want to show you something here. What I've done is I've just switched to my administrative profile, and I'm taking you into what we call a learner view. And this is what your person will do. And what you'll see here is, and I'm going to show you where, if you look in the lower right-hand corner, and I'm going to take my pointer out so you make sure you see this, you see right there where it says results. But when a person takes a quiz, what it's going to do is, this is a learning quiz. So what it's going to do is, it's going to tell them to keep guessing until they get it. Well, actually come up with the right answer. Keep guessing is not a great answer here, but come up with the right one. Once I click on results, you can see that it will bring me up the complete test that they just did. And for every wrong answer, it's like if they had answered what are the two basic types of smoke detectors available, if they had answered radon and CO, there would be red marks inside of there. So there's all kinds of systems to check to see what people are doing. You can go in and see when your people are into it. You can go in and see what they're taking. So you'll also know, and Bart, we did this today. We have found out we had a little glitch in our system, and the glitch was you were able to, prior to yesterday, fast forward all videos. That was taken out yesterday, and now you cannot fast forward. Now, as like I said, when you go into the system, you'll learn how to file for CEUs, how to get your course certificates, and those are all in the little courses that we put in on how to navigate the system, how the team leaders are supposed to do it. So the first course I suggest people do when they come on is go to the CVC Team Leader Tips to Navigate the Platform. So if you have questions on this, let me know what they are. If you're on the platform, we appreciate you being on it. And if you want to get on the platform, again, you're getting a 2-week free access to this platform to try it out, to test drive it, to see how it works for you. So,
Jerry, I might add something there, Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to the little bit of downtime between appointments, when you are watching a video, it's important to understand that if you have to pause the video or leave the module for one reason or another, that will keep your place. So when you come back and re-enter that class, re-enter that module, then it's going to pick up right where you left off. And Jerry was talking about fast forwarding through the videos. Some of the other variations of the platform will allow you to do that. Some of them won't. If you're adding your own content, it will set it up. You can set this up to where they have to watch video A before video B, before video C. So there's a lot of internal control that you can deal with on this. But the important thing about leaving a module when you're in the middle of a video is you don't have to worry about that. is when you go back and reload that module and re-enter that, it's going to take you to the point where you were before. And you have to watch the videos and pay attention, because the little code words that pop up, there's no audio cue or anything on that. So your people can't just blow through something, and find out where the code words were. They're a pretty small little deal that pop up. You can see them when they pop up, but if you're messing around at your desk or not paying attention, you're going to miss the code word, and that means starting that video over again. So that'll probably only happen maybe once, twice, if you really don't learn your lesson the first time, before people understand that you do have to watch and pay attention to what's going on in the video.
Right. Watch right here. If you looked, I just pulled up rope roof access. So what Bart was talking about, I'm going to click on course 6438. And when it comes up, you can see where I stopped at. You see right there, I've stopped. I am 46 minutes and 14 seconds into there, and it goes right back to exactly where I stopped.
Jerry, you want to show them where the little code word pops up? Kind of put your pointer over there.
Let me see if I can find one here. I can go back here, see here.
Can be put on an anchor, and so.
See, that's what I mean. It's hard to find them. So it's real hard to go through here and find them, but they will appear in the left-hand corner, right above where Bob. There it is, right there, Bob.
Right
if you
there.
look, there's your code word. So what you've got to do to get your CUs is, as you go through this, there's going to be 4 code words per hour. And at the end of it, and that's in the instruction, just send it to us. And somebody said one time, but hey, they could share those. Guess what? We're going to trust people, but if we ever have doubts, we can actually go in and see how long they did watch the course. So there is a backup system, but there's a place you just got to trust somebody once in a while.
Well, and at the end of the day, trying to find the cheat in the system is just cheating yourself, cheating your people. So, there's some built-in integrity with it as well. But I just wanted to make sure that people understood that, you do have to pay attention, because I can tell you the first couple videos that I watched on here, I missed a couple of them until I saw like code word 3 pop up, and then I realized, oh, wait a minute, I've got to back up and start over. Once I figured that out on the CVC side of the system here, then everything was great with that, and it worked perfect.
Right. Now, some of the courses will have more than one instructor. So I'm going to go to one that has 2 instructors, because then what you'll see is whenever we do a class and I have a remote instructor, then there may be 2 of us teaching. So one of them is anticipation. I know it's got 2 instructors. Let me go find it. And I want to show you this also. If you look here, if you think after you have watched the course, it will move over in the completed file. And see, there's where anticipation has been there. So I'm going to pull it up, and I'm going to start this. And if you'll watch, you will see.
Customer one time who said, you know why we buy so much from you?
Because what's going to happen is, see, here you have 2 instructors that were in 2 locations, and we have classes that we will have more than one instructor, because these are done in a virtual means. So I was in Concord, North Carolina, and Ken Warren was about 2.5 hours from me when we put this class together. So you'll find a couple of those, especially in the sales side, you'll find 2 instructors in there. So anyway, I hope this has answered everybody's questions. If you've got any, if you want to attend, we've got another webinar tonight at 8 o'clock, but this one will be, as soon as I hang this one up, it will go into a recorded mode, and this one will be hung on the platform later today, and then the one we're doing tonight will also be hung. Bart, I appreciate you helping me out on here, brother.
You're welcome. Have a great day, Jerry.
Okay. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Let us know what we can do to help you get your people onto the virtual platform. We will help you make this successful if you want to make it successful. This is Jerry Eisenhower, and I appreciate you joining me today.